Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Giri Govardhan, Jayo Giri Govardhan, Jayo Giri Govardhan, Jayo Giri Govardhan. Jayo Giri Govardhan, Jayo Giri Govardhan, Jayo Giri Govardhan, Jayo Giri Govardhan. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Govinda ki, Gopal ki, Giri Govardhana ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai, Gaur Premanande. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya. Bhutale Shanati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti. Namaste Saraswati Devan Gaurana Vicharani Vishesha. Jaya. So we will say a few words before the kids' drama will start in 30 minutes. So today we are celebrating Govardhana. We have the Govardhana Puja festival, the sacred mountain or hill, Govardhana Hill, which is actually considered in the Vaishnava tradition to be the most sacred place, even more sacred than Radhakunda, because in Govardhana Hill, in their grooves, the most intimate Leelas of Sri Hare Krishna took place, and it's also the pasturing ground for the sacred cows, because today is also Go Puja. We celebrate Gomata, mother cow. So, as you know, the Govardhana Puja was a special Leela by little boy Krishna. He was only 7 years old, and that became a very big Leela because of other aspects. As you know, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he always educates his devotees through the Leelas. It's not only that the Leelas are very sweet and mellow, but there are always some instruction, something that could be learned from these Leelas. And so is also the case of the Govardhana Puja. In the village of Vrindavan, life was centered around cows, fields, and simple devotion. One day, Krishna was noticing that the cowherd men were busy preparing for a grand sacrifice. Curious, he approached his father, Nanda Maharaj. "Father," Krishna asked innocently, "what is this big festival everyone is preparing for?" Nanda Maharaj replied, "We are worshipping Indra, the god of rain. Without rain, we cannot grow grass for our cows or food for our families. So out of tradition and gratitude, we perform this sacrifice to Lord Indra every year." Krishna smiled gently. His purpose was not simply to stop a ritual. He wanted to teach pure devotion. So he spoke with reason for a 7-year-old, but also with affection. "My dear father, does Indra truly give us rain? Or isn't rain part of nature, part of the order created by the Supreme? Look around. What really sustains us here in Vrindavan? Govardhana hill gives us grass for our cows, fresh water, caves for shelter, and herbs for medicine. Should we not give thanks where we actually receive blessings?" The cowherd men were astonished. No one had ever questioned the tradition, but Krishna's words make sense. He continued, "Let us worship Govardhana hill, the cows and the brahmanas. This will please the Supreme Lord." Nanda Maharaj hesitated, "But we already prepared everything for Indra's sacrifice." Krishna replied, "Then let us use everything that we already prepared for Indra's sacrifice. The same food, the same offering, but offer it to Govardhana instead." And so the decision was made. The people of Vrindavan cooked mountains of preparations: rice, dal, vegetables, rotis, laddus, kachoris, halwa, rasgullas, and oceans of yogurt and milk and butter. They decorated the cows, they fed the brahmanas, and showed kindness to everyone, humans and animals alike. Nobody was excluded. Then Krishna led them in a grand procession around Govardhana hill. That was the first parikram. The air was full of joy. Children were laughing. Gopis were singing Krishna's glories. And the cowherd men blew their buffalo horns. All of Vrindavan was alive. Just then, something extraordinary happened. From the top of Govardhana hill appeared a massive divine form, a gigantic Krishna. With a thunderous voice, he said, "I am Govardhana hill," and began to accept and eat all the offerings. At the same time, Krishna stood among the villagers, offering respects like everyone else. So the residents of Vrindavan were astonished. They understood Govardhana is just not just a hill. Govardhana is Krishna himself, accepting their devotion. So that day, the Govardhana Puja was born. And through these loving pastimes, Krishna taught the real truth. Worship should be simple and sincere, and gratitude should be real, not mechanical. And above all, devotion must be offered to Krishna alone, because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So from that day forward, the people of Vrindavan stopped the Indra sacrifice and worshipped Govardhana hill every year with love and devotion. And what about separate worship of the devatas, including Lord Shiva, Durga, Saraswati, Brahma, Ganesh, etc. They should be given very much respect, but the real worship should exclusively be given to Lord Krishna. Why? Because in the Bhagavatam, second canto, there is a very famous verse, Akama Sarvakamava Moksha Kama Udaradi Tivrena Bhakti Yogina Yeta Purisham Param. But it doesn't matter if you're completely free from desire, you're Akama, if you have all the desires in the world, Sarvakama, or if you want to have liberation, you desire liberation, Mukta Kama, Moksha Kama, then you should really strongly worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhakti Yoga with devotion. Yajenta Purusham Param. So this is one very important lesson. Why worship Indra separately when you can worship the root cause to all benediction, Krishna? Another thing that we can take away from this Leela is that one should be dependent on Krishna, not material arrangement, thinking that, well, rain will come automatically by the arrangement of nature. Because rain, prosperity, protection does not come from rituals or external controllers. They come only by Krishna's grace. He is the cause behind all causes. Welcome. Hare Krishna. Another thing, Krishna protects his devotees. This Leela introduces what's called Goptritva Varna, accepting Krishna as one's only protector. Even when Indra attacked, we will talk about that later, the devotees were safe under Krishna's care. Another thing that Krishna taught us is the supremacy of bhakti over karma kanda. Rituals that we perform for material gain, like the Indra Yajna, they do not please Krishna. Pure devotion, free from material desire, is superior. And Krishna is pleased when his devotees are nourished. As I was saying, the Govardhana Puja, everyone was fed sumptuous prasad. The brahmanas, vaishyas, cows, animals, even outcasts showing that Krishna's service includes compassion and care for everyone. He also taught that the land of Vrindavan and Krishna's devotees are worshipable. Govardhana is non-different from Krishna. Serving Krishna includes serving his land, his devotees, and his cows. This is called Tadiya Seva, serving things that are specifically Krishna's. We can also learn that Krishna teaches even the proud people. Indra's pride was crushed by Krishna. Even great souls can become puffed up, and Krishna corrects them out of mercy. And finally, only simple devotion defeats complex religion. Krishna redirected an elaborate Vedic ritual into simple devotional service, cooking, feeding others, singing, honoring prasada, and celebrating together. So we left off when everybody was joyfully circumambulating Govardhana Hill and observing the Govardhana Puja, instead of making this elaborate worship to Lord Indra. Indra, who is the king of the demigods and the lord of rain. Indra has become used to that every year the cowherd men would get together and arrange this big sacrifice for Indra's pleasure. So he was awaiting the worship. And then when there were no worship, this little boy was just telling them to worship Govardhana instead. Indra became furious. And he thought, I should punish everyone, the whole village, even the cows. They should be punished. So he was so angry, he called for the Samvartaka cloud. This is that huge, devastating cloud that comes when time for the universe to be annihilated. And it started to storm and rain and terrible weather. The whole Vrindavan was inundated with floods of water. But before anyone could get hurt by this, what did Krishna do? 7-year-old boy. He went and just lifted the entire Govardhana Hill. Lifted the whole mountain. 7 years. And put it balancing on his left pinky. So, and he was just simply standing, holding the whole mountain over all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, all the gopas and gopis and the cows and everyone, as long as this terrible weather was going on. Blizzard, rainstorm. And Indra, he became perplexed. After a few days, he started to cool down and realized that this is getting nowhere. What's going on here? This small boy, Krishna, just holding up the whole mountain. So then he could understand Krishna is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was actually enjoying standing there, giving shelter to his devotees, giving shelter to the cows. He didn't mind. But in this way, by just using his left pinky, he was totally humiliating the king of the demigods, Lord Indra, who was trying to crush the whole Vrindavan village, inundated, flooded with water and hailstorms. So he came to his senses, and ultimately he surrendered at the lotus feet of Krishna, very much ashamed over what he has done, offering beautiful prayers to little Krishna. And then after 7 days, the sun came up again. Krishna could put down the hill, and everybody was happy. And Lord Indra learned a very useful lesson. And so did the cowherd men. They could understand why worship of the Govardhana is so much superior than worshipping some demigod, for getting some brain material benefit like that. So this is what we celebrate today. We also, this whole month, celebrate the wonderful Leela of little Krishna of Damodar that was earlier, prior to the Govardhana Leela. And this is the opportunity, because it's also Deepavali, we offer lamps to Lord Damodar, which is here together with Mother Yashoda. Because, we told the story before, but I have a few more minutes before the children's drama is coming up. Krishna was in the house of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, running around playing, and Mother Yashoda was very peacefully boiling milk, which it had unlimited amounts of milk in Vrindavan. And Krishna said, "I'm hungry, please feed me, give me milk." So Mother Yashoda took little baby Krishna, put on her lap, and put the breast in Krishna's mouth so he can start drinking milk. And he was smiling, Mother Yashoda was smiling, everything was fine. And then Mother Yashoda noticed, oh my God, milk is boiling over. So immediately she took Krishna, put him on the floor, and ran to save the milk. And Krishna, what's going on here? I was just in the middle of eating. What's happening here? And he wasn't very happy. Why is Mother just taking me away from my sweet milk? So when she was fixing the milk at the stove, Krishna was angry. He wanted to do something naughty. So he found a stove and broke a pot of yogurt. And then he was eating some, giving some to his friends. And then, when they had enough, he was feeding the monkeys. So he was angry. The Mother Yashoda noticed, oh, the pot is broken and all the yogurt is gone. You can see the monkeys that have yogurt everywhere, So, this must be little Krishna playing this prank. So now I have to punish him, she said. So she was chasing Krishna all around, put her stick, showing Krishna. They say one should never beat children, but sometimes you may want to show the stick, at least. So he was showing the stick, and Krishna was running, she was running, the sari became loose, and she lost the garlands, and the hair came loose, like that. But and finally, she was able to capture Krishna. She was able to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is not easy. But Krishna allowed him to be caught by the pure love of Mother Yashoda. So she wanted to punish him, but she could see that he was very afraid. She was almost on the verge of crying. So she put away the stick. She said, this is not good. Krishna may be traumatized. So I have to figure out something else. So she saw this wooden grinding mortar where you make butter from yogurt. Was standing there. So she thought, I have to bind Krishna there so he doesn't go around everywhere and doing mischief. So she went to the house, got some rope, and wanted to bind Krishna around the belly. That is actually the meaning of the name Damodar. Dama means rope or bind, and Udara means belly. Bind by belly. So she was just about to tie the knot, but she noticed the rope was too short, 2 inches. Oh, so she ran in, had to get some more rope. And then she was going to tie the knot again. It was still too short, 2 inches. So this happened several times. And meanwhile, she almost lost her breath. She was perspiring, became very tired, and Krishna saw that. And finally, he allowed her to bind him to this mortar. But of course, Krishna wasn't so happy, because he was thinking, first I couldn't finish my meal. She just took me away and put me on the floor. And now she's binding me to wood and mortar. So he was not in a very good mood. So we started to crawl around and dragging this whole mortar after him until he came out in the garden. And mortar got stuck between two tall Jama Arjuna trees. And Krishna was pulling and pulling, and finally both trees broke with a tumultuous sound. And from the trees came two very beautiful and effulgent demigods, two young men. And that was the sons of Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, and Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. And the reason why they ended up in tree form was that they were intoxicated and swimming in a small pond with young beautiful ladies. They were all naked. And then Narada Muni came by, a holy man, a great sage. And they didn't have any shame because they were intoxicated. But the girls at least, they covered their bodies. So Narada thought, I will teach them a lesson. So he cursed them to become trees. Trees is the destiny of people who are very, very lusty. Material lust is the greatest enemy of bhakti. I mean, you want everything for yourself instead of giving for Krishna. So they became trees for many, many thousands of years. But he also gave the benediction that when the term was up, they will be standing face to face with Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this happened in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna broke the trees and released Nala Kuvera and Manigriva in their beautiful forms. So this became a very beautiful and complex lila, beginning from just making a nice sacrifice for Govardhana hill, and then keeping Govardhana as an umbrella. And then before that, Krishna was breaking the Arjuna trees. So we are celebrating the Yashoda Damodar Lila by offering deepas and chanting the Damodar Ashtaka. We will do that when the children are ready. And we are celebrating also Govardhana Hill and the cows. There's a lot of celebration today. For this whole month of Damodar, the Kartik month, whatever you do for Bhagavan Sri Krishna has many thousands times effect. So even if you don't do any pious activity for the rest of the year, the 11 other months, do it during this month. Give in charity, do seva, offer lamps, and you will get so much benefit. Okay, so I will finish here. Somebody has a comment or a question? Otherwise, we'll see if the children are ready to do their play. Are children ready? Very good.
Like in 10 minutes or so.
Okay. So we can't do it without them.
No, they are the main.
Maybe we should offer the lamps now instead. If we got extra time.
I think we need to pause now because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.